All right, welcome, friends, citizens of the Do Our Things Nation, to another episode of the Do Our Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues, certified high performance coach, founder of the Do Our Things Nation, where our mission here is to empower you to upgrade your life through mindset and movement. And yet, it's another Monday. We get to be here. We're just talking about gratitude right before we hit the live button. Angie, how are you doing this morning?
I'm tired, but I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah,
It's
we got a late start at work today for the Super Bowl, and so I'm like, yeah, I could sleep in, but nope, I'm here.
what'd you think of the game?
I liked it. I'm not a I like football, but I'm not a diehard sports fan, and so I literally was there for the halftime show for Usher and for the commercials. I love the commercials. Rudy and I were talking about this last night. If they would only create a second show off of the Super Bowl show every year of just the commercials in the first half, the Super Bowl, the halftime show, and then the commercials in the second half, and just make it its own little production like after the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure that would get a lot of watches because I would go back and watch it.
Yeah, they could do like an extended concert, and yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That would be
Yeah.
great, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
stick around and watch that.
Yeah. I'd rewatch
Yeah.
it. Like today, I'm gonna have to go to YouTube now and look for all the Super Bowl commercials. If they would
Yeah.
just package it all together in one show for me, that'd be great.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Well, we're here in Chiefs country, so our beloved Chiefs won. I know there's a lot of people out there that are angry about
Mhm.
that. I guess it was kind of a boring game up until the end. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it. I know I'm weird like that, but I kept up with the scores, but I didn't watch the play-by-play. But it seemed like an exciting game. I got to go to a
Mhm.
couple Chiefs games this year, so super cool. I'm not a huge football fan, but this I don't know, actually going to Arrowhead Stadium is pretty awesome.
Mm,
Definitely made me appreciate it a little bit more.
that's cool.
But go Chiefs. So hopefully your team won. And if you didn't, well, oh well. I guess there's next year. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, hey, before we get into today's topic, we're going to talk about running splits today and how you can best use them to improve your running. But before we get into that, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes. Leave us a review. They go a long way to helping us expand the Do Hard Things Nation algorithm and empire so people can find us. And share it with a friend. If you got something a nugget that came out of this could be useful, feel free to share it. We're sponsored by the Do Our Things Nation, doourthingsnation.com. We're a community committed to living a life on offense, united by a focus on continuous self-improvement, upgrading our lives through mindset and movement. It's a great place to work, teach frameworks and challenges, and have a space for accountability so you can upgrade your life. And upcoming events, we have the Do Our Things 28. We're going to be running that again. That's monthly. We're in the middle of the Taji 100 right now. We've got the Do Our Things 9/11 run coming up in September. And for any other events, just go to doorthingsnation.com and see what we got going on. So that's it for the business end of things. But this morning, we're going to talk about splits.
Mhm.
Running splits, and this is why did we always collaborate, and why did you feel that this would be a good topic to talk about this morning?
Well, it's not something that I learned about after I started running until I was pretty deep into it. I heard the term, but I didn't really know what it was and how to use it and how it affected me. And yesterday, one of my friends texted me and was like, "Hey, I ran 5 miles for the first time." And we became friends on Strava. We hadn't been previously been friends on Strava. And I looked at his time and I was like, "Dude, you had negative splits. That's awesome." And he was like, "Oh, okay, what's that? What does negative splits
Yeah.
mean?" And so we were talking about it, and I was just, super pumped for him because we are running the Army 10-miler together this year, and so he's training now. He is an avid cyclist, and we went to school together at the end of last year, and we ran a couple times together, and just he's super great person, he's super excited about it, and yeah, I just was like, wow, yeah, let's remind people and educate people what splits are and how they can use them.
Yeah, it's great. When we brought that up, I was thinking, well, it is a great topic because I've just when I learned how to run through cross country and track, that was just a common thing, and I just kind of forgot that a lot of people aren't aware of that, and
Yeah.
it's a great way. It's a great tool to help you improve your running. And our mission here is to get people to enjoy running, to run faster. I think it's a goal for
Mhm.
most runners, and to enjoy it, right? So this is a great
Yes.
tool that you can use. Kind of goes along with the topics from the last couple of weeks. We're talking about pace training and things like that. Being able to measure your paces via splits is how you can improve. So if you haven't heard us, if you want to go back and review like a episode or two back, you can go back and check out the different paces. But this morning we'll talk about splits. So what is a split? Well, it's a running and racing term that ultimately means the time it takes to complete a specific distance as part of your run. So, for example, if you're running 5 miles, your time at each mile marker would be your mile split. Okay.
Hmm.
So, you can even break them down. Like if you're running like intervals on a track, every lap that you take around the track, whether you're running 400s or 800s, those individual repetitions that you're doing around the track would be your split. So you want to check those to see where you're at in regards to your pacing. Are you keeping up with the pace that you've set? So tracking your mile splits is crucial if you're racing and you're trying to PR. Say you're trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon or train for or run the Boston Marathon. You can estimate your finish time, and that's it. So ultimately what we're doing is we're taking our run and we're dividing it into smaller sections and intervals and measuring how long it takes to achieve that. There are 2 types of splits. There's even splits and negative splits. Well, I guess there's 3 because there's positive splits too.
Yeah, I was like, no, there's 3.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about positive splits because we don't want that to be enter your vocabulary, right? No. We want to be running negative splits. That's where
not
we're
always, not always,
yeah.
but
Yeah, but these so running a negative split means ultimately, finishing the race faster than you started. Even is keeping the same pace the whole way. Positive is the opposite. It's where you kind of get slower as the run progresses. When I'm training runners, it's not uncommon for runners to kind of, because if they haven't done this before, you get slower as the run goes on, right? Because you're getting more tired. But we train so we can actually do the opposite, where we actually run faster and finish the race. So, am I missing anything on the splits there for the explanation?
no, I tell you, no, you're not missing anything. And a lot of times, if I'm not training for something, I use the splits as a gauge after my run. So if I don't have a specific time in mind, I'm not trying to hit a specific pace, I'll go back and look at my splits. And that just tells me, um, because when I'm running, I'm like, oh, am I feeling tired today? Am I feeling fast today? Am I feeling energetic today? And I'll just go back and it kind of reinforces I've been running long enough now to where I'll go back and look at my splits and be like, yeah, I was tired and it shows. I can see that positive split or that negative split where I was, not tired and super jazzed and really into it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great information on your run because you can see where did you hit the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have maybe you can especially for these longer runs where you've depleted all your glycogen stores and you've kind of hit that wall, or maybe this elevation. A lot of people, this is where a lot of people kind of struggle is they're looking at their splits. Well, obviously, if you have elevation, you're going to get slower. And they're like, man, I ran like a minute slower that mile. Well, yeah, but you climbed, a few hundred feet in elevation. Give yourself some grace on that. But tracking your splits and measuring, and as I train runners, using the VDOT app, it gives splits of all of their runs, so I can analyze that and give feedback when needed. So it's pretty cool. So, all right. So how do you track your splits? What are some practices to do that? Well, most of your running watches are equipped to do that. Even all the old Timex, there's a little split track. When you run that lap around the track or you hit that mile mark or kilometer, you can just click it, on your watch. Most of these running devices are automatically doing that. If you're using Strava or whatnot, they're already kind of breaking that down. Old school, especially if I'm doing track workouts, I still do this to this day. I'll pull out a Sharpie and I'll write on my hand my pace and my splits. And I just use the watch and I know exactly. That's why I love running on the track. I know exactly where I'm at by 100-meter, and I can just look at my watch and I just do it the old fashioned way with timing. I just break it down by time. And that's a way to just kind of to break it down and track it. So if you're new to this, I would just encourage you to, as you're on your run, to kind of, set your pace and just kind of practice doing it. Just practice
Mhm.
being aware of what your paces are and average them out. Um, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I think. But if you're
Mhm.
doing a 5K, you break it down by kilometer. Every 0.6 miles, that's going to be your split. And ultimately, what we want to do to improve and get better is we want to be shooting for that negative split. You want to be finishing the race faster than you started. When I do even my novice runners, when we're doing our longer runs, once we've got some good base down, I will have them, they might be doing a long run, like a 10-mile run. It might be 7 miles easy. And then the last 3 miles are going to be faster than they started. So more like that marathon pace or threshold pace. If they
Mhm.
have more base of fitness, they might be running some of their marathon pace, and then they're going to finish the last 3 miles even faster. And that's the goal. It's just we want to train the body and the mind that at the end of the race we can push and finish it faster.
Yeah.
And I've certainly had races early where I've blown up at the end. It's been the opposite. So you've got to like modulate your energy to be able to do that. So it's great training.
Yeah, and you gotta stay aware, because especially when you're on race day and you're at a race and you're with a bunch of people or even in a group run, it's so easy to take off too fast, and burn yourself out in the beginning. And so I think it helps you stay aware. And I think another thing to point out is if you haven't run a large organized race, a lot of times they'll have your pace bracelet, which has got that on there. So like Bass Pro does it. I know United Airlines half did it. The Brooklyn half, they provide these wristbands, and depending on what your goal is for that race, it breaks down every mile. It breaks down your pace, and you can keep track of it manually, like Jay said.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty good
Mhm.
tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, and when you get to these larger events, they have the pacers that are holding the sign, and you can run
Mhm.
with them and determine your pace, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and those, yeah, those bracelets are great because you don't have to try to memorize, your numbers or what. It just makes it
Yeah.
easier. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But ultimately, we're trying to strive to do is a negative split. And what I for if someone is new to running, and they're whether it be a 5K, a half marathon, or a marathon, that first run, just don't even worry about paces. Just go for the sake of enjoyment. Like Lacey and I, we're going to do the rock and roll. I'm going to encourage her not even to bring her watch if I can get away with it. Just let's just go and just finish the race. Then the second
Mhm.
one, now let's start looking at our paces and kind of start to dial it in. Let's see if we can run an even split, start to finish the whole way. That's what the best marathoners do is they run that same pace till the very end. And they do the negative
Yeah.
split. Um, but it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. But it really gets you good at conserving your energy,
Yeah.
knowing where you're at. You really get in tune with your body. Like on a longer event, I can sense it when I eat and drink stuff. Like I can just feel the surge of energy, or I know that I'm hitting the wall.
Mhm.
It's like I can kind of tell how long this is going to take and what I would need to do to kind of pull out of it. I think it just makes you more aware.
Yeah.
So there,
Well, and I've been running intervals so long that that helps me maintain a really steady pace. Just I just do it out of habit. And honestly, I've gotten so comfortable doing that that I'm having to now force myself to speed up there at the end, those last few miles because I'm just so comfortable. Like I can pretty just run the same thing every single mile, and it's just something I have to be aware of and train
yeah.
train for.
You can train yourself to kind of get into the groove, which is great. But if you want to get faster, you can use these
Yeah.
training splits to start picking up the pace a little bit
Yeah.
and reset there. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
interval the Galloway method, that's pretty much what you're doing there with
Mhm.
so it's great.
It is. It is. Oops.
So, how do new runners can start using splits? Well, if you're new, the idea of tracking it might seem a bit daunting. Don't put a lot of pressure on it, but just start to track it. Take your run, break it down by kilometers or miles, and just start to become familiar with it. Just start to analyze it and start
Mhm.
looking for distances. Take a look at your route that you're running, and just spend a little bit of time of just analyzing the data. I
Mhm.
Now the pitfall of this is some people get so data driven that when they go out to run, it's like they got to try to beat it the very next time. And once again, go back to a couple of episodes where we're talking about every run has a purpose. We're not trying to beat ourselves every single day. You're going to fall apart. You're going to suck the fun out of running. And I don't know. That's how you end up in the yo-yo thing. So some runs just no data, right? But it is good to analyze it. I just say that with a grain of salt because I say there's a lot of people that get so data driven that they suck the fun out of the runs. So, but they're a powerful tool for sure. What else? What else we need to hit on splits? Is there anything we're missing?
I liked how you were talking about just to make sure you're aware of your elevation when you're looking at your splits. We have a trail here near where I live, and it's got some pretty steep elevation on it. And when I was a new runner, I remember running it, and my pace was probably 2 minutes slower because of how steep it was. And I remember going back and looking at my numbers. You're talking about data, and I was just like, I was kind of beating myself up for feeling like I was going too slow. But then I really had to take into account that elevation.
Yeah.
And, you really do. I didn't want to burn myself out. I think it's a 2.5 mile loop is what it is. And I didn't want to burn myself out on the first loop because I did several loops that day. But yeah, you just maintain awareness when you're tracking your splits, when you're tracking your pace and you're training for something. Maintain awareness of the route that you're running. Take into consideration the elevation. Take into consideration how you're feeling that day, and just make it one package. Make it a package. Don't forget the things that that really go into all of the everything really.
And that's why when you're looking, that's why perceived effort is really important. So when you have that elevation, if you're still in that perceived effort, you're still doing what's prescribed in the workout. So you got to give yourself some level of grace. Lacey says she's going to wear a watch. I'm going to unplug
Yeah, I
it.
saw that. She's like,
it.
"Oh, I'm wearing my watch.
It's going to be dead
I'm
when you
wearing
start it. Oh, she loves looking at the watch.
Yeah. Me too. I love looking at my watch too. Like I keep it set to the pace that I'm going at the moment. And because I do intervals, it changes. It goes, it speeds up, slows down, speeds up. But I enjoy being able to look down and have that data. I'm a data nerd. I like it.
Data junkie. Hey, what's going on, Kyrie? Good morning. Good morning, everyone out there. We're live streaming here, so you got some people saying good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
So yeah. Bottom line, use your splits. Use your splits.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you saw this, but late last night we had some bad news in the running world. Kelvin Kiptum, who just recently had his Chicago Marathon codified, 2 hours and 35 seconds. Unfortunately, him and his coach were killed in a car accident last night.
Oh.
So people are mourning around the world because he was actually, his heart was set on breaking the 2 hour mark. So it's been pretty tragic to hear that news and see that. But man, I don't know. When I take that news in, it's like, man, I just grateful for another day, and just goes to show that you just never know, when's going to be our last. But it was really incredible to see his effort, and really sad news for him and his family, and the family of the running coach. So, but yeah, so that's tough. So that's tough news.
That is.
All right. Well, we still have 10 minutes left. Are we done?
Indeed.
Is there anything more you want to hit on with the splits?
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
It's not really. It ties into pace. Know what they are. Know how to use them. Don't let it affect your mood. And just chunk it down.
Don't let it affect your mood. I love that. Don't, because some people, man, they get so beat up. We'll be like on a group run. You just see some people that are just so upset. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you upset about? Like, did someone, what happened to you? Oh, I just didn't hit my times or whatever. Well, let's analyze that. Well, you look at the splits, and once again, they hit a hill or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up over it. Give yourself some grace.
Mm-mm.
Enjoy running for the sake of running.
Mhm.
Every run should have a purpose, and just a few minor tweaks in your training can really revolutionize how you view your running. But if you're getting beat up, like running should be enjoyable, and you should be walking away from a run enjoying that runner's high, and not getting so pissed off about your times. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Yeah, train
Mhm.
hard, but yeah, don't put so much pressure on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I really think and it's only because we're in a military community. I think the military sucks the fun out of running because most of the military people that I know, unless they just love it, inherently love it, they hate it. Or when before they went in the military, maybe they loved it and now they hate it. But it's just I wish there were a better way. And what made me think about this is again, I'm running the Army 10 miler this year, and I've got a group of friends that we're all running together. And one of them we were texting yesterday when my one friend Dave shared that he ran 5 miles for the first time. Our other friend was like, "Yeah, I still hate running. I'm only running it just so I can run it with you guys, but I still
Yeah.
hate it." And he's training to pass his PT test. And so, it just I wish there were a way for me to figure out how to change that mindset of for people that just hate running. I don't know what the magic word is. I don't know what the magic cure is. I don't know.
Well, I can definitely empathize being in the military for so long, like the apprehension to it. I learned to run and track and cross country, so I already had running background coming into the military, but I can understand why because for some people, their first exposure to running is some dude screaming at them, sleep deprived, and you have a test assigned to this activity. Anytime you got a testing assigned to it, like it's just pressure. So, and
Mhm.
then and then once you graduate again, every run all out or really long. There's no, as much as I love the military, from a coaching perspective, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to how they train. They're not training properly,
Mhm.
and so yeah, you have a lot of apprehension. Every run is all out. Every run comes with stress of this test that you have to pass, and so the other people like, yeah, the military, like I'm done with this. I'm done with it. It's out of my life, right? Because they just associate the stress with it.
Mhm.
And to your point, I love helping people run for the sake of running and fall in love
Yeah.
with the joy of running, because it really is. If you just take the pressure off and you train and Lacey said something recently that really kind of dawned on me. I never really thought about it, but every run, whether it be training or a race, it's its own unique experience and event.
Mhm.
Like I ran this Saturday morning and I knew there was going to be a group meetup. I had no idea who was going to be there, but it
Yeah.
was great. I got to see my friends that I didn't expect to see you there. I didn't expect to
Mhm.
see some other people there. We ran a little bit. I got to see a new route because one of my friends was like, "Hey, let's go down and touch this gate." And that was super cool.
Oh, it was
And
the
then I
first time
had
you went down Pimpin Road. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and then yeah, I got to experience 5 miles by myself, and I was just found a cool podcast, and I was like, it was awesome, it was great, and
Mhm.
it was its own unique, and it's buttoned up and it's done, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a run today, and it's going to be its own unique experience, and so every run is unique, and every run has a purpose, and if you can,
Mhm.
some runs are just to get out there and just move the body and be in my head, and then other runs are for time, and we're training for something, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all. There's nothing like it. I mean, I cycle. I do weight training, and but running is different when it comes to my mindset
Yeah, I
and
think
how much I
for
feel.
me, it's especially when I'm running with other people, I mean, when you work out with people, I have to focus on my reps. I have to count, you know what I mean? I have to really pay attention. But when I'm running, I can just have a conversation and learn about the people I'm running with and share my life with the people I'm running with and I don't know, it's just like where we solve the world's problems or at least we attempt to um I haven't run Superior Road in a really long time, and, we for those of you tuning in, we have a beautiful, creek, the Ruby Doo that is along, a running path that, we have group runs on, and it's just so beautiful, and there's fields, and there's bluffs, and it's just cows and horses, and, um, I don't know, it's great. It's great. It's beautiful, and it's Yeah. Like you said, every run is its own unique experience.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah.
I'm having a computer issue here. I'm trying to tee up our weekly winner here, and I'm having an issue. I had like 3 photos, and now they're all dead. My computer's been acting weird all morning. I think, I'll be honest, I think I'm getting close on memory. That's what's acting up.
Uh-oh.
Time to defrag. You got to defrag. I've learned that sometimes you get too much stuff on the dashboard. This happens in your life too. Like you get too much stuff on your mental dashboard. It doesn't quite operate quite correctly.
Yeah.
That's what we're having here. So you got to clear your mind. Well, we got one photo up here. I was hoping to get the other photos up here. Shoot. When I'm clicking on things, it's not quite working. It's a Monday, y'all.
Happy?
I
Are you
need
getting
to-
click happy? Are you giving it time to think?
I am. No. I need to dump a cup of coffee on my computer here.
You say that,
needs to
Jay, and
wake
it's gonna happen. And
I'm
it's
gonna
gonna-
end up spilling
yeah,
it.
so don't do yourself like that.
Oh, yeah, because I got these photos here and they won't. I got one open. The other, I had them all teed up. 2 of them went down, and I can't get the other ones to open. It's weird.
Uh-oh.
What is going on?
I
All
don't know.
right. Well, shoot. All right, give me a second here. I'm gonna have to stall. You gotta stall on.
Gonna have to stall.
You gotta
let's
sing a
see.
song.
I am not singing. Nobody wants to hear me
No
sing.
karaoke.
Nobody wants to hear me sing. I will see where I am on my Taji miles. I'm interested to know what are we at the I don't even know what today's date is.
Today
Today's
is the 12th, so
12th?
we're almost at the halfway point.
Halfway point. All right, let's see where I'm at for Taji. Taji
I know
100.
the team is kicking ass.
Yeah.
We're on the Do Our Things RW team, WB team, and I'm on the
Mhm.
we got the Do Our Things Nation team. And
Mhm.
between both of our teams, we have some of the biggest teams in Taji, which is pretty cool.
I didn't even realize it. So can you see that when you go look at other teams? Is that
When
where
you click at the leaderboard and you look at the teams and the team
Mhm.
sizes. Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, we got 2 photos up here, so we're gonna make that work. But yeah, team's crushing it. We already got a few
Oh,
people crossing the finish line.
42.7. I'm at 42.7 right now.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, now there you go. There, lost you. Okay,
Good
cool.
morning,
All right.
Russ. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in,
All right.
Russ.
Here we go. I think we can make it. We can muddle through this now, I think. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our weekly winner this week is Clint Smith. So the photos went. I had another photo. We're just going to do it this way. So anyway, there's Clint Smith getting after it. So he is. I met him through Nadine. He is from Lebanon, Missouri. He's a wrestling coach. He's always out there getting after it. He was the first one on our team that did that got to 100% on the Taji.
Oh,
Larry
nice.
Lazo was right behind him, but he finished up over the weekend, and that's it. And I got to meet him last year up in Columbia. We're doing a 5K together. He's like, "Are you JT?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm Clint Smith." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," because we met on Facebook, but didn't quite know the first time we met in person. So really, really good dude, doing a lot of great work in the community, teaching other wrestlers how to wrestle, which I think is fantastic. Anytime that we can role model the way and give back, I think is outstanding. And he's a gritty dude, always out getting after it. So Clint, we appreciate you. Fantastic effort for the Taji 100. We're going to send you a shirt for doing hard things and being a great role model for others. So appreciate you.
Awesome. Awesome.
So keep
good stuff.
getting after it. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So let's see here. All right. So I want to do like so I think the format, we've been doing a lot of like movement stuff.
Mhm.
And but I want to leave a mindset nugget before we bounce out for the day. So
Okay.
we got a couple minutes left. So this is what was on my mind the other day, and I kind of wrote this down. But I've been thinking about the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I've been thinking a lot about that with my transition from the military, and a lot of people are like, "Man, we're always looking at what that other person has, and when you get there, it's like not enough. Like, what is that about?" And when I think about the grass isn't greener on the other side, what I've learned in my own life is that the grass is greener where you water it. So where's this green grass at? Well, it's not the patch of grass that's over there that someone else has. It's your own grass. It's it's where you water it.
Mhm.
And you're the grass. So when you think of like if you're thinking about being somewhere else and the grass being greener on the other side, I want you to think that you are the grass and that you need to water yourself. And in a world that's constantly chasing the next big thing and distraction, it's easy to overlook the fence and see what other people have. People constantly doing this on social media. But the real growth, the real green, vibrant life and grass happens where you're planted. And this is something that you've said in the past that's really resonated with me. Grow where you're planted. And
Mhm.
that's in the, how do you water yourself? What's the daily grind? It's the small actions and the consistency of care that you give yourself each and every day. And so, how do you water yourself? Well, that's with mindset and movement. Mindset,
Mhm.
because your thoughts shape your feelings and your feelings align with your actions. If you have negative thoughts, well, your actions aren't going to be supportive and your outcomes aren't going to be great. And your thoughts are really the seeds of your reality. And, your mind will bear fruit. I love this from As a Man Thinketh. Whether you can, if you have a garden out in your backyard, it's going to bear something. It'll be full of weeds or it can be like abundant fruit, but you have to cultivate and tend to that garden. But either way, it's going to bear something.
Mhm.
So cultivating positivity and resilience and gratitude on a daily, is an important thing. And then movement, because our bodies are designed to move. Movement is an inherent part of our life, and it's every step that we take. And it's about having energy and feeling alive. And I'm a firm believer. I love the book Born to Run. Humans are the ultimate endurance athlete. That's what we're designed to do. And I know that I am infinitely happier and better when I'm moving my body and my mindset is better. So I think they go hand in hand. So how
Yeah.
do you water yourself? Well, you grow where you're planted. You flourish in your own way. You don't need to look at anyone else's fence or another patch of grass because you are the grass. You're the grass and do hard things every day. And the framework for that hard is health and wellness, affluence and wealth, relationships, and then development, how you're upskilling every day. That's how you water yourself. You do something intentional each and every day with consistency in those areas, and you will water yourself. And your grass will be greener. That's what I learned.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that,
So,
even though this is related, but I meal prep almost every week. And it's just funny because this week when I was meal prepping, I just kept thinking, yeah, this is how I show my self-love, by putting in the hard work. It takes time. It's not always the easiest thing, but I was like, yeah, you know, and then when I open my fridge and I see everything ready for the week, I'm like, yeah, this is 100% how I show myself love. And then on top of all the other things, movement and getting out there and getting after it.
yeah,
So yeah.
focus on self. I know this weekend, I started reading a book called Goodbye Things. I
Hmm.
have a tendency to kind of just hold on to things.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I need to get rid of this stuff. And I started reading this book. I'm like, man, my life would be so much more peaceful to have this stuff. So I feel like I'm pulling weeds out of my garden right now by just getting rid of the stuff. And I've got bags of stuff I'm going to take over and donate today. And it feels really freaking good.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't have to be anything transformational. It's just the little things in life. It just tend to your garden every day, whatever that is for you, whether it be meal prepping by giving
Hmm.
yourself some nourishment, working out, a gesture of kindness. All of these things have a compounding interest, whatever that is for you. But do something for yourself. And I realized by decluttering, like it seems like it wasn't really on my radar, but like I feel so much better by
Oh
getting
yeah.
rid of the shit that's in my life. It's just
Yeah.
taking up space. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100,000,000%. I feel you there. I feel you.
I got to declutter my hard drive because it's acting stupid today. So that'll
Yeah.
be next project. So
Let us know how that goes next week. Yeah, and hey, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to make yourself smile. Don't forget to make someone else smile today. You just never know what someone else is going through, and just kindness is easy and free. So
absolutely.
easy. Look at somebody, give them a smile.
If you want kindness in the world, sprinkle that shit everywhere. You got to put it there
That's
yourself.
right.
Yeah, it starts with you. It's contagious.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, y'all. Keep doing hard things. We'll see you
Yes.
guys in the next episode.